Hi friends, welcome to the second video of this four-part video series on Elliott Wave Theory. In this video, we'll cover the motive waves and understand the various types of motive waves and the variations of these types. So let's start off. As you can see on my screen, just to recap, a Elliott wave pattern is typically a 8-wave pattern where the first 5 waves are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and are known as the motive waves, and the next 3 waves are corrections to the primary trend labeled as alphabets A, B and C, which are known as corrective waves. There are broadly 2 types of motive waves which are known as your impulse waves and your diagonal waves. Impulse waves are those waves which follow all the 3 basic rules of the Elliott wave pattern, which are rule number 1, wave 2 can never retrace the entire length of wave 1. Rule number 2, wave 3 can never be the shortest. And rule number 3, wave number 4 can never invade the territory of wave number 1. When all these 3 rules are applied and adhered to, we call these waves as impulse motive waves, and mostly you would see that all the waves that you see and the structures that you visualize, they would follow the impulse motive waves. The other category of the impulse wave is known as a diagonal wave, in which rule number 3 is not applicable, which means the motive wave number 4 will definitely invade the territory of wave number 1. That is when it is not an impulse wave but a diagonal wave. So I hope this is clear. Let's recap once again. 2 broad categories of motive waves, that is impulse wave and diagonal wave. Impulse waves are those where all the 3 conditions are being fulfilled, whereas in case of a diagonal wave, condition number 3, which is wave number 4 not invading the territory of wave number 1, is not being fulfilled. Moving on, we have 2 distinct categorizations of the impulse motive waves known as extensions and truncations. Let's talk about extensions. As you can see on my screen, as the name suggests, extension means something is being extended, that is, something is more than expected. So, in case of an extension, it is any one of these waves, wave number 1 or wave number 3 or wave number 5, which is extended in nature. That means it is little longer than expected. Importance of the concept of extension is that normally whenever one wave is extended, it is expected that the remaining 2 waves will typically be of the same length. That is why when a chartist or a Elliottician sees one wave being extended, he or she automatically knows that if wave 3 is extended, then my wave 5 should typically be almost equal to the length of my wave number 1. Similarly, if my wave number 1 is extended, then my wave number 3 and wave number 5 typically should be of the same length. In a rare scenario where you have more than one wave that is extended, that is known as a double extension. Let's look at the extension examples or forms with the help of the diagram that I have on my screen. Let's talk about the bull market where the primary trend is an uptrend. So the first figure tells you that the first wave is an extended wave followed by wave number 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the second example, we have the second wave that is an extended one. So wave number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the third case, we have the fifth wave or the final wave that is the extension wave. So we call it the fifth wave extension. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In some cases or rare cases where the extension is not able to be identified, we don't know whether this extension should fall in wave 1 or wave 3 or wave 5, then we call it a extension not identified wave pattern. And typically this will be a 9-wave pattern. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Likewise, it's applicable for bear market. The first wave extension means you have a longer first wave as compared to your third wave and fifth wave. A third wave extension would mean that the third wave is the longest one, and a fifth wave extension means the fifth wave is the longest one. Talking about the concept of truncation, truncation means something which should be there but it is truncated or shortened. So, as you can see on my screen, truncation occurs when the wave number 5 is not able to cross the high of wave number 3. Typically, you would notice that your wave number 5 should cross the high of wave number 3, as you can see on this diagram. But when truncation happens, wave number 5 is not able to cross the high of wave number 3. This is what we call as truncation. So this example is that of a bull market truncation, and this example is that of a bear market truncation. Normally, you would see that truncations will occur when you have a very steep wave number 3. That means there was a strong bull grip in an uptrend in wave number 3, that this bull grip was not sustainable for wave number 5. Likewise, in the case of a downtrend, your wave number 3 was so steep and the selling pressure was so intense that the sellers could not manage to hold on to that momentum, and the bulls came in and overpowered the sellers. Also, you should notice that whenever you see truncation, the wave number 5 should also follow 5 subwave patterns. So as I covered in the previous slide, your truncations can be either bullish or bearish. When it is a truncation in the bull market, it indicates that the bull grip is weakening due to the steepness of the wave number 3 and bears are coming in. And in case of a bear market, the bull grip is now kicking in and the bear grip is losing its momentum. Truncation would typically be followed by sharp corrective waves because you have change of polarity or change of force at the end of truncations. So just to summarize, motive waves are of two types, impulse waves and diagonal waves. Impulse waves are those waves which follow all the three rules, whereas diagonal waves are those which follow only the first two rules, and the third rule, that is wave number 4 cannot invade the territory of wave number 2, does not get followed. In the context of impulse waves, we have two sub-concepts, that is extension and truncation. Extension mean any one of the waves is an extended or elongated one, and truncations mean when the wave number 5 is not able to close above the high of wave number 3. In the next video, we'll talk about the corrective waves. Stay tuned and watch out for the next video where we take these topics forward. Thank you.